What's up? What's up? What is up, family? How are you doing? What is up? What is, girl, you look at you, look at you, look at you, look at you, what you're looking like you're looking. As they say, look at how you're looking like you're looking. Do we got the bodyguards out after you, Miss I Am Partial? Do we got the bodyguards?
I have a few here or there,
Okay, we're just trying to make sure because we don't want nothing to get, you want you to come through scathe free, you know what I'm saying? We don't want nobody, be like, hey, that's priceless merchandise right there. We don't want nothing, to be broken or anything, you know what I'm saying? So welcome to In Between.
Really?
In Between
Your
Lives. Hello. So excited. We've been gone for a little bit. Glad we're back. Thankful for all the people
that say that kind of stuff. Like, you don't really have to say that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just funny because it's neat. It's like we've been gone for a little bit. Because see, when it shows, we're gonna be on vacation.
You were just here yesterday. You were just here last week. Where'd you go?
We're gonna be went on vacation. We came back. So we thank you once again just for being with us, hanging out with us, chilling with us. Whatever you're doing, we appreciate you. We're grateful and we're just thankful that you decided to come and hang out with us. I Am Partial. We appreciate you stopping by, hanging out with us, allowing us to endure in your beauty today. You know what I'm saying? Got the pigtails rolling and flipping and got the edges right and everything. Got the edges right. Butterfly is popping. The butterfly is popping. We're grateful. We got that orange crush going on. You know what I'm saying? So we're working it out. So we're thankful. We're grateful. We're excited. Just thankful for just you being here. Don't know where we would be without you. I'll say it like that. Don't know where we would be without you. And like we always say, there's no me without you and there's no you without me.
Exactly.
So we're thankful for all those that have sent in your questions, sent in your comments, sent in all your different things. Those that have been on the show, we're grateful for you and we're grateful that you decided to hang out with us and stuff. And
letting us in your life. Thank you.
Yeah, we're glad that we didn't embarrass you too much. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta get down to where we get down at. So we say thank you. I am Big Mike. I am Partial. So we're grateful for everybody that's here in the building, in the place. Thank you for all the million subscribers. Remember, like, share, do all the things, tell somebody about it. You know what I'm saying? And we want to just say congratulations to each and every one of you for showing up in life today. You didn't have to come through, but you did. And we're thankful for each and every one of you. So today we are going to kind of like still be in relationship goals, I would say like that. And I think last week we dealt with, what do you remember what we dealt with last week? Do you remember?
No, you're not putting me on that.
So I'm just going to throw one thing out that I liked. In relationships, I always say, when you get ready to meet somebody or you're looking at somebody, or you're checking out somebody, whatever, one of the things that got me, I was listening to a friend of mine and a mentor of mine, and the one thing they said is lose all the assumptions. And I said, lose all the assumptions. And we already always assuming that this person is that and assuming that this woman is this. And, I don't know about you, I Am Partial, but sometimes a man assumes, hey, man, I can't get with her. You ain't never had that where you would say.
I get that all the time.
But you ain't never had that where you like, I can't get with him because he too fine and he ain't going to talk to me.
No, I don't think like that. No.
So I would tell men as well as women, losing all the assumptions. Stop assuming the worst. Why?
Okay.
Go ahead. Come on.
No, wait. Okay. So let me back up. I apologize. I was distracted. I had a message from my aunt. Excuse me, I'm with you guys now. So, okay, self-worth and self-love, self-acknowledgement.
All right.
A lot of times when we do not love ourselves properly, that is what opens the door for the, oh, they're out of my league type of mindset, or oh,
Okay.
I'm not worthy type of mindset. So for me, I don't think there's been too many people that I've met where I've met them and not really knowing anything about who they are or whatever, even celebrities or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I don't deserve them, or they're out of my league, or they might not like me. No, no, I just choose not to deal with certain people just because of my choices, not because of the person's too fine or too muscular or has too much money or his car's too nice or his congregation's too big or whatever the reason might be. I mean, I have things that I like about people. I have things I don't like about people. And unfortunately, some people fit in those categories. It has nothing to do with my self-image or ego or worth. It's just what I like. So when I meet other people that are like, yeah, I didn't approach her because she was too pretty, or I didn't think she was going to like me, or I didn't think he was going to like me. Stop thinking for that person. Stop thinking for that person. Think only for you. Know that you are worthy. Know that you're beautiful enough. You're smart enough. You're handsome enough. You have enough for whatever they might want or need to take a chance to see if it can actually work. If you're already talking yourself out of the relationship before you even know the person's name, that's ridiculous. If you already convinced yourself it's not going to work before you even say hi, why? Everybody's human. We all have noses and eyes and ears and butts and feet and stuff. It's okay. They might look similar. They might be different. And that's what makes it unique and wonderful, to see if we can blend and merge and grow something. But just because of whatever in your mind that you are sabotaging a situation by yourself, stop that shit. Because you might be missing out on a great person for you. You might be missing out on a great relationship. You might be missing out. And guess what? It'll be your fault. Not mine, not his, but your fault. So
is it my fault when I assume the worst? So why do you think women assume the worst, and why do you think men assume the worst?
And once again, when it goes back to that self-love, that self-worth, that self-image, what we feel about ourselves. Oh, well, I'm too dark or too short or too fat or too fluffy or too whatever. That person will not like me because society says, or the Bible says, or my mama says, somebody else said, and I believe it, drank it, and it may not be true. So once again, love yourself exactly who you are and how you are, and then take a chance to say, hey fella, hey lady, I think you're beautiful. Just wanted to know, we get to know each other, and then find out from them if it's a possibility, versus you already having a whole conversation by your damn self. That's a relationship is ebb and flow. A relationship is involving someone else. If you're having a relationship conversation in your head by yourself, then just stay asexual. Stay by yourself.
Right.
But most of it, in my opinion, has to do with how we feel about ourselves. Do we feel that we are up to that person's standard, up to par? Will they appreciate us? Will they like the yes, and yes? Because guess what? God created you how you look, how you act, and he didn't make a mistake, but there's some mistakes that we have made along the way that we can better ourselves at. But even in the rawness of who you wake up every morning and that you're still worthy of the opportunity to get to know if somebody else has an interest in you without you answering that for them. So most of that self-talk is your fault. Is either your fault that you heard it from someone else that you trusted, a parent, a relative, ex, or just social media or the movies or society, and you believe it. You drank their Kool-Aid. Spit it out. It ain't for you. It tastes nasty. Drink you, get that deliciousness of you back in you, so that when that other person comes across your life, the only hesitation is either walking too fast or but it's not you talking yourself out of that conversation of getting to know them or giving them a chance to get to know you.
I like
When
that.
I heard a young man say, "Oh yeah, she's out of my league," and I said, "Why is she out of your league?" Well, just look at her. I'm like, I'm looking at her. So tell me once again, why is she out of your league? I said, look at you. I see two beautiful people. What's the problem? And sometimes we get caught up in so much of the outward appearance that we forget about the true value of what really matters is the inward person. Who are they? How do they think? How do they treat people? What are their values? What are their needs and desires? How do they respond in certain situations? How do they care themselves? What are their moral compass looks like? All that stuff trumps the outer experience or outer appearance, in my opinion, because you can be fine as frog hair, as they say. And then when you open your mouth, I don't want to hear nothing that comes out of it because it's just nasty, it's negative, it's demeaning.
Right.
And now all of a sudden that beautiful shell that I saw that caught my eye, that gave me the attention to even look your way, now looks really dirty and nasty and not attractive anymore.
Right.
So we stop focusing so much on the outside. And don't get me wrong, the outside does matter. But I believe we put too much value on the outside and not enough value of what's on the inside. Mm-hmm. So just let the outside be the door to open the opportunity to get to know that person versus the vault to keep you out of a possibility that might be good for you.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I got another one for you.
Oh my Lord.
Okay. In relationships, we say all different kind of things, but one of the things that I looked at when you get into a relationship, and like I said, this one caught me kind of good, but it says, what is your non-negotiable things?
Okay, so I may not answer what my personal non-negotiable things are. He try to pull me in, y'all. He be trying to make it, and sometimes I don't mind sharing a little information, and sometimes
I'm just asking from a woman's point of view, what is a non-negotiable thing that women
I'm
would
about to give a blanket answer for feminine people out there.
Okay, thank you very much, man.
But before I answer, because I got to think of some things, because I'm not reckless sometimes. So non-negotiables are safety nets that we need to set. There should be standards that we have in our life on how we want to be treated, or things that we would like to experience and things we don't want to experience, and have an understanding of why. Because sometimes it's not good enough just to say, well, these are my non-negotiables and list it, because somebody may not understand why is that non-negotiable. To help me understand what is wrong for you for that type of thing. So it's always wonderful to get to know yourself before you try to bond with somebody else, because that helps ease the relationship into a positive transformation and journey for both and all to enjoy. So when you're talking about non-negotiable, that's just on that short list of things you don't like, things that you have either tried or researched and you decided this is something you want, this is something you don't want, and you understand why you want and don't want those things. So for me, in most women, most traditionally minded women, I don't like when people use the term, we want a man to be a man. What the fuck is that? Because they could turn around and say, we want a woman to be a woman. Okay, that means you have a penis, have a vagina. Boom, there we go. Problem solved. It's not that simple. So when I hear a lot of us say that we want a man to be a man, it's certain things traditionally we've gotten used to, we've learned about, we've either had in our life that we like, that's masculine. And so most of that is when we say we want you to lead, because men say we're leaders, we're alpha, blah, blah. Okay, But in that leadership role, if we are to follow, if we are to agree, if we are to submit, if we are to be within that negotiation of understanding, then when we're asking that man to lead, that doesn't mean that he is the second God or the demigod of our life. That means that we're going to value his opinions, we're going to value his desires, we're going to value his judgment. And we have a right to deliberate and question or conversate about the suggestive lead of what he's about to do. But in respect of when he said, hey, I got this idea, I would like for us to do this, or, I heard about this problem that you were having, this is a solution that I'm offering. When we ask them to lead, we need to learn how to follow that lead that makes sense, that offers a solution. It may not be the solution we thought of, it may not be the solution that we're used to, but it's a solution that will solve that problem that you asked them to help solve that problem. So instead of fighting when they give us those solutions, when they give us those leadership directions, instead of arguing or fighting or negating it, let's try it. Let's try to do what they're saying. Let's try to do it their way. Let's see it work. Because most of us, when we say we want a man that's a man or a man that leads, it's because that's something or sometimes we don't want to do all the time. And so we need to see that you're capable of making good decisions that will give a positive result. We need to see that you even want to do that. And to help take some of the burden and some of the responsibility and some of the heaviness off of us when all of us, everybody, men and women, we're all wearing many hats in our lives at all times. And so for a lot of women, especially if you're a mother or a caregiver to your parents or when you have physical responsibilities for people, sometimes we want that man to be strong enough that when we say help, that you can handle the help that we need, that you want to take on that extra load. With all of that, it comes with that leadership, that we can depend on you to do something that's going to assist us in a way that we don't have to worry about this anymore. That we don't have to second guess your judgment, your tactics, your antics, your mannerism, because we know once you take it over, we just set it in your hands and forgot it. And we appreciate that. A lot of women have shared that they don't want another child in their man, or excuse how I'm about to say this because it's going to sound insensual, but a child they can fuck. Most women don't want that. We don't want to have to build a man, raise him, take care of him the way that we would take care of a child that is not responsible for themselves. And then the only benefit that is opposite or different from you and a child is that we get to have sex with you. Woohoo! Most women don't want that. Some women do, but a lot of women may not. So those are some deal breakers. Those are some parameters that a lot of women will say, you need to have a sense of who you are, what you want to do, and be working toward it so that I can see the value in you the same way you see the value in me. You need to have some kind of direction, because a lot of us, and this is something that's personal for me, I can't be with a man that I don't respect. I can't call you my man or one of my men, and I'm not going to receive your direction or your suggestions of how I should run my life or the problems that I have. You offer a solution. I'm going to laugh silently in the side and do not what you're asking me to do, because you ain't even doing that shit in your own life. So now you want to play, let's see if it'll happen in my life. No, I can't take that chance. So it's important for a man to have his own experiences. So when he does suggest something to his lady, when he does offer leadership to his lady, she can trust that. He can be that man of value. He can be that man of integrity, because she's seen that in his personal life outside of being with her. So some deal breakers is you can't just be like lazy with a good dick or a tongue. You got to be more than just, a joy toy. Come with something that we can depend on. Come with something we can follow that direction. Granted, all of us are still living and learning, no matter what our age is. Life happens, and sometimes we just have to adjust and and that's fine. But in general, have some kind of substance about yourself. And I hear this from a lot of men too. You can be pretty, and then the women will be like, "Oh, I'm high maintenance. You got to do this to do it." And a lot of men don't mind doing for their lady once they see her value. They will do more for their lady once they see her value. But you just can't show up being cute, and you can't cook. You nasty. You ain't washing your ass. Can't clean. You talking out your side of your neck. You're not being respectful. You're not intelligent. You can't be in front of somebody's parent and have a decent conversation for 10 minutes without embarrassing your man. No. Those things are very important. We, men or women, represent our guy or our girl when we're not together. So if you can't do that, and I'm going to be embarrassed because I'm not there to yoke your chain because you're saying something off the cuff because you don't know how to act, then why are you with me? Why are you? And so some deal breakers, to keep it simple, because I'm going too deep. Some people don't want people that do drugs. Even though marijuana is legal in most states in the United States, it's a natural herb. We can have all the pro-marijuana arguments, but some people just don't like smoke, whether it's cigarettes, cigar, marijuana, or vaping. They don't want that. They don't want that in their life. They might have a history where a grandparent or a parent or a sibling passed away through cancer, and they relate any type of smoking to that. But once again, when you give people your deal breakers, it's important to have the patience to explain to them why. And most of the time, when you can explain to them why, there's a greater consideration of, okay, you know what? I really only smoke socially when I'm with my homeboys or my homegirls or special occasions. That's not something I really have to or want to do, but I at least wanted you to know that. And then that's a conversation you guys can have to say, well, I understand you don't like smoking. I understand you smoke socially. Well, just please don't do it when you're about to see me because I don't want to smell it on you nor taste it when we kiss. And that could be a wonderful compromise of a deal breaker. But when you're not intelligent enough to know why you want these deal breakers in your life, and you can't articulate that to somebody else, you might be missing out on a good person. And then that person taking your feelings and understandings of why into consideration. Okay, my baby just don't like that. So when I know I'm about to hang out with her or hang out with him, just make sure everything is, smelling good, looking good, so that, everybody's respecting each person's wishes. Another deal breaker for some people are children. There are a lot of households in today's society where you got a lot of extra parents that people have to deal with, versus 50, 60, 70 years ago where it was mainly one mom, one dad, a bunch of kids in the house. Now you have 3 or 4 mothers and one dad, or 3 or 4 dads and 2 mamas. And a lot of people just don't want to deal with the personalities that come. It's nothing against kids. The kids are the easier part. Dealing with the adults that are supposed to be responsible for those kids sometimes seem to be more overbearing than desired. So I've heard a lot of people say, I don't want a man that has more than 2 mothers to his children. I dealt with 4 mamas. Woo, 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 woo. That was all
talking about you.
But God allowed me to do, and they had to get to know and deal with me, so so some people's deal breakers are, if you have kids, they don't want you to have more than 1 or 2 parents of those kids. I don't like using the term baby mom, baby daddy. That's just me. Y'all use it, that's fine, but they just don't want the extra parents to deal with. So sometimes that's a deal breaker. I'm about to create a deal breaker where I have found that a lot of men with no kids like to want to date me. And I'm old. I don't want no more kids. I'm good. I got enough kids. I promise you, I got enough kids. So it's not a deal breaker for me, but it's very interesting if I meet a person and they don't have any children, and or they've never been married, and or they've never been in a relationship more than 10 years. Those things, for me, when I think about it, it's like I have to now try to train this person into those lifestyles because that's not something they're used to. If a person doesn't have any kids, and there are a lot of people that may not have children of their own, but they're the best aunts and the best uncles or the best godparents. I'm not talking about those people. People that just been drifting through life and they really don't have a relationship with any type of child. They see them in passing. You know, they can tolerate them for an hour or two at a family function, but they've never had them overnight or for the summer and stuff like that. Those are the type of people that cannot work really well in my life because I got like kids. But it's not necessarily a deal breaker. Once again, I'm open to have that conversation so I can get to know where his life experiences have taken him and why, you know. But the thing about not having long-term relationships, that's serious for me because even though I may not want to be legally married right now, I want to be in partnerships that last a lifetime, you know. So if a person's only had a 2-year here, 3-year here, and that's their, you know, every 2 or 3 years they got somebody new, that's fine. I'm not judging you for it, but that lets me know that 2-3 years is gonna be expired. You know, somebody else gonna be in your life type of thing. Now don't get me wrong, people can change their mind because that wasn't working for them for the last 10 or 15 years. However, I know my patience level. And so if their mannerism as well as their conversation is adjusted to help me believe that they're in a different mindset, that's different. Once again, gotta talk about this stuff, y'all. But if it's just, oh, you know, you fine, I can make you happy, blah, 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 and there's no in-depth conversations about this 2 or 3 year hop in, hop out cycle that they've had, I don't take them seriously. I might play with them for a little while, but I'm not gonna take them seriously. So yeah, just a few deal breakers that I've heard from women are the smoking, the drugs, the relationship statuses, the children or the parents of the children. Sometimes finances is a deal breaker. Excuse me. Had a conversation. It was a beautiful event I went to the other night. And the young man was like, when is too early to talk about finances on the date? And he was like, is it proper? And he was asking us women, is it proper for us, you know, to discuss it on the first date? I was like, no, that's weird. No. The first date, maybe the 5th or 6th or 10th, but not the first date. And she was actually asking for assistance on the first date. I thought that was just, I'm like, you know, there's another way to get what you're trying to get. Don't be going on a date with somebody looking for a relationship. That's not a category you need to be in, boo. There's a whole other group of people over here that hook you up on that night what you need to pay your bills. Just strange for some change. Anyway, yeah, so I just thought that was like, wow, you go on dates and he was like, yeah. So I won't say deal breakers per se. Yeah, it is. Some women are like, okay, as long as he has a job. I take it to another level because I've been blessed to have men in my life that are very financially stable. They make a good amount of number in their salary or in their businesses. And then I've had some that, you know, they just got a job because they need to have a job to say they got a job. So in my experiences, it's how you manage your money. Because you can be a 6-figure person or a 7-figure person, but if you got 8-figure debt and everything's still late, that means you don't have enough extra for my allowance and for us to go and do things. And you could be a $50,000 person and have perfect credit and budget and save and invest. And we riding out having a nice time on the weekends and every quarter on a vacation. So for me, it's less of the amount of money you make, is what kind of, are you a good steward of that resource? You know, how does your life look before me? Because I can tell you how my life looks before you. And if how your life is being lived before me is how I would like to live as well, okay, cool. But if it's not, and you want to budget my money or change up my lifestyle to the idea that you never experienced, once again, that's one of those examples where it's going to be hard for me to follow. So sometimes deal breakers are financial. I just shared mine. Some people just throw a number out there. Yeah, you got to make $200,000. Oh, you make $200,000? Do you make that kind of money? Have you ever been a manager over an account that is $200,000 at your job? You know, do you even know what that means? And why does he need to make $200,000? What do you need $200,000 a year for in your life? What you gonna do with it? Where you gonna go? How you gonna spend it? How you gonna save it? I mean, that if somebody was coming at me like that, that's how I would, you know, before I answer the question, I'm like, okay, well, thank you for asking, but why do I need to have that amount? What is it that amount of money can help us in our relationship? Oh, you got a bunch of debt? Okay, so make the money to wipe the debt out. Then next, we still got to make $200,000 a year. You know, once again, it goes back to conversation. So, but I do know for people, even men are making it a deal breaker where if she's got to be doing something productive, if she ain't in school, she needs to be having a decent job. And even if he's providing all the finances for the household, she needs to be doing something constructive with her money, like saving and investing it, or her money might be vacation money or car repair money or something. He's not letting her off the hook to just receive. No, we need to be good stewards of that as well. But you know, those are to me the main deal breakers I've heard lately. The last one that comes to my spirit, which should have been the first one, is who your God is, what you believe, how you pray. And I know that was terrible English, but I said it on purpose. Because even though in the times that we live, a lot of people say they're spiritual, Christian, Buddhist, Islamic, or just whatever, it's important for me, just me, to be linked and bonded with someone that has a spiritual belief in God. Now, I don't get over the what you call him or what you call her and all that. I let you do you. As long as you believe what you are learning and you drink that Kool-Aid, I can value that more than someone that just goes to the flow and says they're this thing, but their actions and integrity are showing us something else. Them kind of people I don't want in my life. So I can be in a relationship with someone that is not a Christian or not spiritual, but as long as you are believing in what you are saying that you believe, I give you a salute. I give you a hats off. But a lot of people want someone in that same belief because it does make it easier. You don't have to argue and debate or question, you know, whose is right or whose is wrong and stuff like that. But I know that is something that's very on that top 5 deal breakers. You know, what do you believe? Who's your God? How do you believe it? Sometimes even what's your denomination? I ain't dating no Pentecostal, but I date a Baptist. I heard a lot. You know, so it's just, but once again, I encourage you to be able and to be open to explain why that's your deal breaker, why that's your desire, why you need that, why you want that. Because sometimes just saying that without the explanation, you could be losing out on a beautiful personality that could be in a wonderful relationship. But that's all I got.
You want one more?
Huh?
I'm gonna give you one more, okay? One more, and we'll work it out and let you get some rest.
Go ahead. I'm good. Go ahead. Do what you do.
Prioritize purpose over preference. So prioritizing purpose over preference.
Give me some meat to that. Give me some.
So prioritizing. So what are your priorities?
Mm-hmm.
What is the purpose over what is your preference? Because, you know, some women say, well, my preference is you got to be five this, and you got to be this, and you got to be this. And almost like what you were talking about just a few minutes ago, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I always say, and I'll give it back to you, that, you know, women, sometimes when you meet a woman, she wants you to make 5 figures, but she working at McDonald's and ain't got nothing together, ain't got no priorities, ain't got no future, ain't got no mindset to go any further. So I never understood why, just like you said, or kind of how it is, why does a woman want you to make this, and you ain't doing nothing. You sitting at home doing nothing. I mean, ain't got no job, wanting me to pay everything, but you ain't doing nothing. But I gotta go and make, how's that work? So that means your priorities ain't where they're supposed to be. And your purpose ain't where it's supposed. So go ahead. I didn't want to go all the way, but I was halfway in the.
I mean, you
in the
said it
balance.
so beautifully well. You said it so eloquently well.
So did that make sense? So do you understand what I'm saying? You got me.
I think so. I'm gonna give it a shot. So
prioritize.
Our priorities should be over our preferences, if I'm saying it right.
Yes.
So for me, I have a 13-year-old son. That is the last of all of my children that I am honored to raise. So for me, the priority is to make sure I have a wonderful personality in our life that he can pull from to be an example of a man from. He has brothers, of course. He has my dad. He has aunts. I mean, he has uncles and stuff. But if this person or these people are going to be in my life, it is imperative that they can be an example that he can follow. That is my priority. My preference would be someone that would convince him to play sports. Because I'm a football mom and he's the biggest son I've got and he don't want to play sports. That would be a preference. But is that more
important? About the purpose?
Huh?
And your purpose.
And my purpose.
So we want priority, purpose over preference.
Okay. So the purpose of having a man that he can respect, look up to, and learn from certain antics of personality is so that he can fulfill God's purpose in his life of whatever his artistry is, whatever his computerism is, whatever his talent is. He's already seen that in me. I'm his mom, but I need him to see that in men. I need him to see that in people that are of his same, masculinity. And that's the overall purpose, period. For me, when I'm in relationship, I want to be with someone that helps elevate who I am. And I'm going to help elevate who they are. Let's continue to, rise this thing to the top and keep going from even there. Let's see how high the top is. Let's see how far and deep and wide this can go. To me, that's overall purpose of relationship. So preference is cool, but most preference is superficial. Most preference is that
that's where we're at.
Yeah, is that icing on the cake? Is that you can do without the icing? You can have a wonderful cake, delicious.
Yeah.
You don't need no icing, but it's nice to have a little icing every once in a while. To me, the preferences are those things that you can still have a very fulfilled life without. But if you can get it, it makes it cuter. It makes it prettier. It makes it more handsome. It makes it a little easier. A nanny is a preference. But a household that has the amenities, you have the comforts, you have the food, you have the couches, you have the clothes, those are priorities.
Right.
But a nanny to help the kids is a preference. Yes. And so once again, this is going back to what we said in the beginning. Get to know yourself first, after God. Keep God in the loop of as you develop and adjust throughout life, so that when you do bridge life with someone else, those purposes, the understanding of what your purpose is for your person and defining what that purpose is for the relationship will help create that list of priorities of what you guys want to see in that relationship that you're building together. And then the niceties are the preferences. Everybody needs a vehicle to get to work. So whether that be a bus, whether that be a train, a MARTA station, whether that be carpooling, we need some way to get to work. Bicycle, motorcycle, some means.
Right.
You can walk, you can run. You just need to get there. The difference of how you get there, the purpose is to get to work.
Right.
How you get to work, I just listed so many different things. The preference would be either cool air-conditioned vehicle that somebody's chauffeuring you in, or in a cool or in a warm, vehicle in the wintertime where when you pull out, you look back and be like, oh yeah, that's mine. That's my Benz. That's my Land Rover. That's my, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, as long as you fulfilled your purpose, that should be your excitement and excellence. We sometimes we worry and are concerned too much about the how, which is the priority. How we gonna get this? And then we glorify and we give too much value on the preference. So if we change up that whole form a little bit and just zone in that we fulfill this purpose, our goal is only to fulfill the purpose. The hows will soon become the preference. Mm-hmm. The priority will soon be that beautiful, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes we get the preference first. We forgot why we want to do this thing, but we just need that because it's shiny and tall and muscular and long and booty popping and look good, sound good. Everybody say it must be good, but we don't even know why we want it now. What is the purpose of having that in my life? Why do I want someone that's a millionaire? Why do I want someone that's 6 foot tall and only 5'2"? Why do I want that? I mean, I need some questions. I answer that. But, you know, we get so caught up in the preference that's available, the different choices. Right. We forget, why are we wanting to want that? Why is that such a desire? Why is being in a relationship? Some people feel that they can't fulfill their life purpose without being in a relationship. Right. No, you should be on that path with or without your man or woman. Being in relationship with that man or woman should make your purpose easier, not helping you define it. That's between you and God. That's between him and God. You know, so I think we just got that formula mixed up a little bit. And once we straighten it back out to what should be most important and what really is just an asterisk, if we get it, great. If we don't, great. It don't really matter. It's just a nice to see that you got choices. But as you are fulfilling that purpose and you're keeping the essence of the importance, the priority of it, you know, I think all of it, I know all of it lines up. I know all of it lines up.
So would you say that when you meet a man or when you're dealing with somebody, you want to know what their priorities are?
Yeah, but they'll be liking to talk about that kind of stuff.
Okay.
People, not just men, but a lot of people want to keep it surface. You want to keep it on the nicety. You want to keep it on the neat and the pretty. And, you know, I'm going to say the right thing. I'm going to look a certain way. I'm going to smell a certain way. We're not going to get down into the meat and potatoes of how my life really is. You know, the things that piss me off in the morning as soon as I wake up. You know, the things I got frustrated throughout the day. Why I didn't even want to go to my job, or why I didn't answer the phone or return any text. People don't want to talk about the real stuff. They want to keep the niceties. And that's cute for a moment. That's cute in the beginning. But eventually, like, I hunger to know who my guy is. I want to know what you like, what you don't like, what makes you tick, what makes you, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the meat of who you are. I'm going to give you, whether you ask for it or not. That just... Call me on the phone. Let me tell you what happened today.
It's coming.
Sometimes they have to say, okay, baby, I didn't even know all that. But for me, I just need to know who you have on your arm, who you have in your heart. This is who I am. Nobody else should be able to come to you and be like, hey, your baby said this. And you be like, she did? I'm like, yeah, that's her. Oh, yeah, that sounds like her. Oh, yeah, that's something she would do. Because you already know that from one-on-one experience. Right. And I desire to have that with anybody I deal with. When I can't get that, that makes me, I won't say negate the relationship, but the value lessens. The value of that relationship with that person does lessen for me. The deeper you let me in, the longer we're going to be together. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if I can handle more than most people think. I'm surprised myself in how much I can handle when you actually get to the meat and potatoes of a person. Right. And the value of that person, you can't shake it. You know, that's something that no matter what happens, I like bonds where no matter what happens, we're still part of each other's lives. You know, some people call that friendship, some people call it whatever. But I don't like one day I love you, one day I can't be without you. and then life happens and our relationship is transformed to something else, but now you can't stand me. How, what happened? I don't get that. If for 8 to 10 or 15 years we was this, and then yes, hurt can happen. I've been hurt. I promise you, I could write 2, 3 books on it and 5 movies. I've been hurt, but is that hurt enough to destroy all of the other moments of life that we had that were not hurt? I choose not to allow the hurt overpower. You know what I'm saying? I have a gift of forgiveness. I don't necessarily forget, but I choose to forgive and move through. Now there's one relationship or two that I've had in life that I'm like, we good from a distance. God bless you. I'll keep praying for your covering, but we don't have to associate. Now that was some deep hurt, deep hurt, criminal hurt between God and man-law. So my wisdom is, just love them from afar. But just other stuff, other little hiccups in life, yeah. You should be able to still call me and we can pray together and laugh together, vacation together and stuff like that. That's me. That's me. I'm not,
okay. So go get your drink. And this is my last. So you say it's hard sometimes to talk to a man about priorities in the beginning?
Okay, for me, it's not hard to ask those questions.
Okay.
But I try not to do it like an interview style. I'll be like with my little list, and then got this, and now let's talk about. I don't do that. I just try to have conversation. But when you have the conversation and you're like, well, how's your mom? She's doing good. She's still in the hospital. Okay, well, what's going on? The doctor says she come on Wednesday. Now, if we are building a relationship, let me know what's going on with mom. There might be something I can do to support you while you support her. But if we just met each other, I can understand the protection. You don't want me in your business because I may not be trustworthy. I understand that. But if we've been rocking for a couple months, bruh.
Right.
We've been rocking for a couple years, bro.
So the other question, so how long does it take for you to, or do you just listen? What is your purpose?
Some people don't know.
Okay.
For the men that know, I'm locked in. That's where I just say, baby. But for the ones that don't know, I try to indirectly encourage them to figure it out. Because I don't want to become their God. I don't want to become the person they're dependent on for those type of answers. But I will share mine. And I will share my different transitions of my purposes of life, in hopes that put some seeds for them to start, looking within themselves to figure out what are they supposed to be as they grow up in this life.
Okay.
But for those that know, that's sexy. That's a hook and sinker for me, boo.
So do you think it's different for a man to ask that question?
No. I think more people should ask, so, at this point in your life, what are you trying? And a lot of people will start with the education on the job as a response. Right. And that's cool because in our society, that's normal. But for me, I need to know, what are your dreams?
Right.
If you didn't have to work, what the hell would you be doing with your life? If you didn't have that debt, what would your day look like? And then within those answers, that sort of kind of leads to what their true purpose is of what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to be living and stuff like that. But a lot of people just don't ask those questions. We want to talk about the football game, or we want to talk about it, and all that's fine. But at the end of the day, if I fall sick, are you a caregiver, or are you just gonna leave me in the hospital by myself?
Right.
If I'm having a mental breakdown because something happened at work that shouldn't have happened, I got fired because I wear locks and I didn't want to cut them off, but I was doing an excellent job and just got a bonus, but they fired me because of my hair. And I'm devastated because I don't understand, how could this happen? Makes no sense. Are you that compassionate person that will allow me to cry, get the emotions out, but then help to repair that moment so I can see straight enough to keep moving through it? Are you compassionate? Do you care? Or that's her problem. I'll call her when she get over it. you know,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
vice versa, you know. Like I said, sometimes I think people see the outward beauty, and I'm grateful for anyone that thinks I'm cute and beautiful. I appreciate it. I do. I love you guys. However, it's more about what's inside here that you can't tangibly see with your eyeballs. For me. And when I start talking like that, it gets a little uncomfortable because nobody wants to be judged. Nobody wants to be like, oh, I just shared this intimate moment with her, and now she's frowning up her face, or now she's saying slick shit. You know, and so it takes a lot to trust, to believe that person that says, you know what, babe, just tell me. I promise I ain't gonna judge you. I might ask some questions that I may not have never heard about what you're saying, or I'm interested now because this is something new. Can you explain to me? Can you, help me understand you? But we need to, for those that are asking those questions and for those that are answering those questions, we need to keep an open heart that this person is choosing to be honest in a vulnerable position. So whatever comes out their mouth, do not judge. Receive it in love. Receive it in kindness. So that when it's your turn, you'll get that same thing back.
I like that. That's beautiful. Because I mean, sometimes to me, as we get ready to, as we wrap up, is that sometimes men don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? On with talking to other women. Because you want to know. Does this girl have ambition? Does she want to do this? What is her goals? What things does she want to do in life? But sometimes the woman's like, well, I ain't come for all that. I just want to, I need to know because that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I think if more men would come to a point in their life and say, this is what I want and this is what I'm looking for. So it's easier to say that than to waste your time. You know what I'm saying? In that sense, because we go on 5, 6, 7 dates. I think we had talked about one of my friends that they went out on a date and he paid, and I think she paid twice or what. You remember when we talked about that? I don't know if you remember that. Mm-hmm. And then she wanted him to pay half afterwards. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, hold on. Do you want me to send you the bills where I paid the full price on it? So in that sense, just trying to be funny, but we want to know what do you want? What are you looking for? And that would be, what are you looking for in a man? Am I what you're looking for? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Am I that standard? Even though we just met, but when you looked at me, was that something appealing that you could deal with? You know what I'm saying? Because I think a woman already knows what they want and what they don't want.
Sometimes.
I would say sometimes.
A lot of people, in my opinion, man or woman, allows outside sources to decide for them what it is that they like, what it is they want, what it is they need. Because a popularity contest, whatever you're seeing on social media, whatever it is you're seeing in a movie, oh, that must be what love is. That must be what I need to go after. That must be what I need to say because that's what so-and-sos are doing. And at the end of the day, if you don't get to know yourself and play around in your head and put yourself in some of those scenarios, does that really make you happy when you put yourself in a movie that you just watch and you're that character? How would you really feel? Or would you have to keep up the facade of the character that's in the movie just to appease the people that don't live in your house with you in your booth? What is valuable for you? I love to be pampered. Squeeze my toes, rub my legs, kiss my neck. All that stuff is wonderful for me. Don't curse at me. Don't yell at me. Don't pick at me. All of this to dry up and shut down. I'm just saying. I'm a very emotional and physical person on a positive, happy-go-lucky. Some people tell me I'm too happy. Nobody can be happy all that time. Oh, no, but I choose to be. Better than being depressed. Yeah, better than being sad. Been there, done that. Don't like that. So I will continue to float over my problems and be happy and see the good in people and see the good in that situation and pull from that. Keep on rising to the top. Mm-hmm. But I know that about me. So as we get to know who we are, as we get to know God's purpose for us, like I said, if you don't have those top two things, the basics of it, you shouldn't be trying to get in a relationship, because sometimes you're going to look to that person, whether it be a woman to a man or a man to a woman or whatever your combinations are. You're going to look to that person to be your God or to be you, to fix your problems in your life for you. Stop being lazy. God gives us free will. We said that in another show. Use that will. Decide for yourself, okay, today I'm going to like this. Let me go see if I like chocolate. Okay, I've tried 17 different chocolates and I've come to the conclusion I don't like 15 of them. So therefore, it is accurate. I can say I don't like chocolate, with the exception of one or two. Now I know that about me. What is wrong with doing that? That's what life experiences is supposed to allow you to say. I don't like people that loud talk in public. I think that's just ghetto and embarrassing. You can handle yourself better. So if I'm with a 6'4" man and he just rah, no matter how fine he is and how beautiful that tree is that I want to climb, as soon as he all loud and boisterous, that's going to be very unsexy to me. I don't want you to be real like that. You just be real, but have some proof about yourself. You want to have people listen to what you're saying, say it in a way that they can receive it. Or if you just want to be loud, can't be with me. I don't want that kind of attention. I don't want that smoke. So, I mean, it's important to know. It's important to know, what you like, what you need, why you need it. It's important to know. Some things somebody can ask me, I may not know. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to answer that question. Never thought about that. Let me think about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Another thing, as you were talking earlier, sometimes when we're having these conversations and we're answering and all the answers sound wonderful and good, you might need to go and ask some more questions, because they may have just had the gift to recite that script and know how to say it, so it can make you feel a certain way. It's tingling in your ear. You can already seeing you and them on vacation and building this house and life together. But ask them specifics. Okay, you've been in business this long and your business is successful. What makes it successful? What do why are you proud about your business? Once again, let's peel back that icing off the cake and get to the ingredients. You say you love God, okay. All right, so what experience have you had in life that you truly had to trust God? It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't a family member. You knew that it was God that did that for you. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when we ask those second and third layer questions to that first answer, that person's integrity is what we get to find out. You're truthful, you're solid, you have a true understanding of how you got to where you're at. Once again, you're building that value. But if for some reason they can't explain those second and third and fourth levels down, they just are good at memorizing some shit. That sounds good. It makes logical sense, but that's not their life. That's not their experience. They heard it. It sounded good. I mean, yeah. But once again, those are some things that, as you have your relationship with God, he's going to stir up that spirit and be like, oh, okay, well, ask them this question. Ask them how they worked out a bankruptcy, or have they ever had one? Are they in one now? But yet they want to come into your life and budget your 6 figures, and they just bankrupted their millions for the second time. So I mean, but keep it light. Don't keep it judgy. No, baby, I just think about this at work and blah, blah. I had this situation. What would you do in that situation? You just, I desire for me to be able to talk to my person about anything. Even if it's just sitting here, we watch a movie and all of a sudden it hit my mind. I would try to be nice and wait for a commercial, especially the game. Or I'll try to be nice and wait till after the game. I might put a little note in my phone. But I want to be able to talk to them about it as soon as it's convenient and comfortable. You ain't got to do it in the middle of date night. You ain't got to do it in the middle of sex. But eventually, you should be able to have, hey, babe, I was thinking about this the other day. I want to talk about it. It's relationships are wonderful. The value of the relationship, the quality of the relationship should be important.
Right. Okay. So, as I say, it's a wrap.
Really?
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It is a wrap. Yes. It's a wrap. And we say thank you. It's a wrap. Walking down the street in my 6'4". Rock the Bears.
You know what? You need to stop doing it.
Rock the Bears. So we say thank you. We say we appreciate you once again. Tonight was very enlightening. Thank you, I am Parsha, for your lovely, lovely input, all the ins and outs that you put together, and we thank you for that. And we thank you. Sometimes, what we say, most of the time it comes from experience. Sometimes it comes from just watching. Sometimes it just comes from just understanding what you want or what a person wants. And we're glad that you could express to us, what you felt today, and I liked it. You got a little got comfortable and everything. You're like, well,
I got just recliner. I had to come get a recliner myself.
Let me adjust and everything. But like we always say, we thank you for being with us tonight. Like I always say, we take it not for granted that you took time to be with us today. We take it not for granted that you take time out of your busy schedule and you say, well, I thank you for taking out your busy schedule and hanging out with us, hanging out with me. We got the orange on today. If I knew you had the orange and blue, I had an orange and blue shirt. You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me there was a little bit of bluish in there.
My bad.
So next time, I'll put the other orange and blue on there. We'll work it out. But we appreciate y'all again. Thank you for sharing and liking, and thank you for loving us. We love you. We appreciate you. We say we're grateful for you hanging out with us. Thank you for the millions and millions of people that are watching and sharing and liking. And oh my God, all the trips we've been taking and taking care of things, taking care of family and friends, and making sure that the grandkids are doing good. She ain't got none yet, so we knocking on wood.
Thank you for that correction.
But for my grandkids, football games, being able to go with this and that. So we thank you again. We love you. Like we always say, you're needed, you're important, and you are valuable. You're needed, you are important, and you are valuable. And like we always say, one thing that we try to get you to is to get a relationship with God. If we don't do anything else, if we don't accomplish anything else in our session, we want you to get to a place to where you have a higher power. We don't want to discriminate on what you call your God or whatever like that. We just need you to know that you can't do this by yourself. We can't do this by ourselves. So what I'm telling you, you need somebody that's bigger than you and better than you and sees things farther in the future than you do. So we love you. We say God bless you. God keep you. Throw these all the kisses, and the big old hug, the big old squeezes, and thank you and appreciating who we are and what we are. Hey, we thank you and we ask that you pray for us, pray for me. We're doing this great diet and everything, and it's beautiful. I'm working real good.
It's just glowing. It's just glowing.
My vest at work is getting a little looser and stuff like that. The pants, I'm having to pull the belt a little tighter, So, but we thank you again. Thank you for what I would say. Laughter is always medicine. That's what the Bible tells us. Laughter is medicine. Because once it says that it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. Yeah. So while you got your face and you wonder why your face hurt all the time, because you're doing too much frowning. So you got to do some smiling, show some of them teethuses. As grandma would say, show your teethuses, baby. All your teethuses. I ain't got all mine, I'm trying to get them worked out. But we thankful for the ones that we got. You know what I'm saying? If you just got one in the front, hey, we thankful for your one in the front. Bless God, bless God. But as we say, we love you. God bless you. God keep you. We're grateful. We're grateful for the time that you allow us to come into your kitchen, to your bedroom, into your dorm room, on the plane, on the bus, in the car, wherever you're at. We want to be there. I'll be there. We love you. God bless you and God keep you. Till next time, keep blessing, keep loving, keep trusting, keep putting your trust in God. And remember, there is life in between your lines. We love you. Hang in there and be what God called you to be.
Stop recording.